we are from Group 3. Today we are going to present the group project with title Application of MFRS by Malaysian Companies. So here are the group members from Group 3. First, my name is Lee Yun Tong, and next is my member Choi Sing Yuan, Yeo Li Wen, Nur Afifah Binti Arifin, and Lo Pui Wen.
Salam Sejahtera, I would like to say to my lecturer, Dr. Faisal. I'm Choi Sing Yuan from Group 3, and today I'm going to present about Kali Holding Berhad. It is an investment holding company. The group operates in 4 segments include development of property and construction activities, direct sales business under its own brand Tukato, direct sales and trade including the multi-level selling, and investment holding activities undertaken by the company. The subsidiary of Kali Holding Berhad are Klasitat Malaysian Sendirian Berhad, Meriwah Industri Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, and Omni Green Sendirian Berhad.
I am Yeo Li Wen, my matrix number is 271966, and I will continue the presentation with Voltas Consolidated Berhad. Voltas Consolidated Berhad is an information technology and property construction company. It was founded in 1996 and changed its name to Voltas Consolidated Berhad in 2018. The company operates predominantly in Malaysia. Voltas' main activity is investment holding. Its subsidiaries' main activity including property investment, rental of properties, property development and construction, business of trading in IT and ICT, software development, and support devices. The revenue stream of the company is majorly come from IT and ICT business.
Assalamualaikum. I am Nur Afifah, matric number 273288. I will proceed the presentation with the third company, Wangzeng Berhad. Wangzeng Berhad is principally an investment holding company that has been listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia since 21 October 2004. The principal activities of its subsidiaries are processing paper products and disposable fiber-based products. Apart from that, Wangzeng also sells various other brands of consumer and household items such as shampoo and shower cream, and also utilize various technology for its products. For example, the company utilized technology from Japan and Thailand for the manufacturing of sanitary protection and tissue products.
And now I'm going to present the company background of Wegmans Holdings Berhad. First, Wegmans Holdings Berhad is incorporated in Malaysia on 22nd February 2017, and it is an export-based manufacturer of home furniture with more than 20 years experience. And the principal activity of Wegmans, including investment holding, which mainly is management of home furniture investment, and their management portfolio, including manufacturing and supplying home furniture, wholesale and retail supply for customer demand, and also provide customer with personalized designs. And their office is located in Muar, Johor with workforce of 600 people. So the various products of home furniture will exported to more than 70 countries across 6 continents.
WTG Holdings Berhad is an industrial products and service company which established in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 1970, with primarily operating in timbers, plantations, type segments. Today, WTG has successfully employed more than 4,000 employees and operates its business around the world.
Next, for the part disclosure of MRS 110, the company disclosure the above event, and this event is a non-adjusting event because it is occurs after the reporting period and there is no evidence showing that the event had exceeded at the end of the reporting period. This warrant can be exercised at any time in the period of 3 years starting from the date of issuance, and it indicated that company would not know when is the time the shareholder would like to exercise it and cannot do any adjustment. This event would not affect the financial position of the company, but still a disclosure on this event should appear in the notes to financial statement as to give a more current view to the user. For the year 2019, Kali Holding Berhad disclosed the above significant event. According to MFRS 110, this event was classified as a non-adjusting event because this event happens after the reporting period, which is 10th of April 2019. The company just announced that this event will occur in the future. There's no evidence showing that the event had exceeded at the end of the reporting period. So it means that the company do not need to do any adjustment because it is unable to bring any effect to the financial position. the company are required to do a disclosure on the relevant information of this event in the part notes to financial statement of the annual report.
The first event of the reporting period of Vortex is in 2018 is its wholly owned subsidiary Supercan Holdings Berhad entered into a deed of mutual termination with the customer on 4 May 2018. Both parties have mutually agreed to terminate the FCA. The customer agreed to refund Supercan the RM12 million performance bond. Performance bonds have been fully recovered from the customer after the reporting period. It is a non-adjusting event and be disclosed in the notes to the financial statements. The second event of the reporting period is the entrance into a share sale agreement with Smart Wisdom Sdn Berhad on 26 June 2018 to acquire 80% of Kepayang Heights Sdn Berhad. KHSB will become the company's 80% owned subsidiary. It is a non-adjusting event and disclosed in the notes to the financial statements. The last event of the reporting period is the entrance into a share sale agreement with Bijak Fajar Sdn Berhad and Newson Development Sdn Berhad on 12 July 2018 to acquire 70% of Rimbun Gabungan Sdn Berhad. RGSB will become the company's 70% owned subsidiary. It is a non-adjusting event and disclosed in the notes to the financial statements. In 2019, Vortex has 7 significant events after the reporting period. The first event after reporting period is the completion of acquisition of West Dynasty Land Sdn Berhad on 13 May 2019. PDRSB become Vortex wholly owned subsidiary. This event is a non-adjusting event and be disclosed in the notes to the financial statement. The second event is the entrance into a share sale agreement on 12 July 2018 to acquire Valhalla Holdings Sdn Berhad. BHSB become the company's wholly owned subsidiary. It is a non-adjusting event and shall be disclosed in the notes to the financial statement. Besides that, the company incorporated 2 wholly owned subsidiaries, namely Vortex Asset Management Sdn Berhad and VDES Limited on 15 April and 15 July respectively. These are non-adjusting events and shall be disclosed in the notes to the financial statements. The company completed its listing of 60 million right shares along with 60 million warrants and 900 million ICPS on the Bursa Malaysia Ace market. It is a non-adjusting event and shall be disclosed in the notes to the financial statements. The company proposed to undertake the proposed diversification on 16 May 2019 and to vary the usage of proceeds on 24 June 2019. These are non-adjusting events and be disclosed in the notes to the financial statements.
For 2019, there is one disclosure of MFRS 110 in the annual report of Wangzeng Berhad. The event is outbreak of coronavirus pandemic that spread rapidly across Malaysia in March 2020. The precautionary steps like movement control order has affected the operation of Wangzeng Berhad. Hence, it may affect the financial and business performance of Wangzeng. This event is classified as a non-adjusting event because it arose after the reporting date of Wangzeng on 31 December 2019 and between the issuance date of 17 June 2020. Furthermore, this event has no effect to the financial position of company, so no journal entry is required and it is disclosed in the notes to the financial statements of Wangzeng Berhad.
So now I'm going to present a disclosure of MFRS 110 about Wegmans Holdings Berhad. They're divided into 2 years. First, for the financial year of 2018, there are 2 events occurred. So first is 27th and February 2019. Wegmans Woodward Sdn Berhad entered for sale and purchase agreement. The purpose of the agreements is to propose acquisition of 4 pieces of leasehold lands, and the total cash consideration is about 8.4 million. However, this is classified as non-adjusting event. This is because the event have no material effect on financial position, and the proposed acquisition is expected to be completed by January 2024. So there are no evidence that the event is existed at the end of reporting date. So the information of the related event only disclosure in the note to the financial statement. And the next event is occurred 21st of March 2019. Wegmans Holding Berhad incorporated a wholly owned subsidiary for Colino Design Sdn Berhad, which aimed to facilitate Wegmans Group's ongoing business expansion plans. So the incorporation with 1 ordinary share representing 100% equity interest, so the total cash consideration is only 1 ringgit. And the event is classified as non-adjusting event because the event is occurring after the reporting date of 21st December 2018 and did not affect the financial position of the company, so the disclosure needed for accurate decision or judgment made. So next, for the financial year of 2019, Wegmans Holding Berhad only have one significant event occurring after the reporting period, which is during the March of 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak spreading quickly across the group, so affect the public life and industry in Malaysia and disrupted the company business activity. So the event also classified as non-adjusting event. This is because the event occurring after the reporting date of 21st December 2019, and also the event is unable to quantify the magnitude and the period of impact, so does not affect the financial position of the company. But the disclosure on events related information is needed for the investor and shareholders.
First, Biogreens enter a sales and purchase agreement and consider it as a non-interesting event because the agreements of land execution happens after the reporting period, which is 22nd 2020, and the execution is expected to be completed by the quarters of 2020. Second, the impact of COVID-19 outbreaks on the company revenue was a non-adjusting event because the outbreak of COVID-19 occurred after the reporting period. Furthermore, the group's timbers and plantation segments has granted permissions to operate during MCO, and this considered as non-adjusting event because MCO occurred after the reporting period, which is 18 March 2020. This event will not affect the current financial positions of the company, but the company has to disclose in their annual reports.
Next, we go for the part key audit matters. The first key audit matters in the year 2018 is revenue and cost recognition of property development and construction contract. The company recognized property development and construction contract revenue by using the stage of completion method. The property development and construction contract accounting are inherently complex, involve significant estimate. The company classified property development costs, construction contract revenue, and costs through reliably estimated and cannot be reliably estimated. As to clearly differentiate the revenue and cost at different situations, two different methods of measurement are required for two types of estimated. The next key audit matters in the year 2018 is impairment assessment of property, plant and equipment and property development costs of the group. Management has carried out impairment assessment on the group property, plant and equipment and property development costs, and it involves significant estimate and assumption on the revenue cash flow forecast. There is no impairment was considered based on the impairment assessment by management. For the year 2019, revenue and cost recognition of property development is the first key audit method. The company recognized property development revenue using input method. The property development accounting is inherently complex and involves assumption, estimation from the management. There are two methods to recognize profit at two different situations. First, the group recognized revenue over time of units sold using the input method for project in progress. Second, the group recognized revenue at a point in time for the sale of completed properties when the control of the properties has been transferred to the purchaser for completed development units. The second key audit method in the year 2019 is net realizable value of inventory of raw materials and finished goods. In order to classify slow-moving and obsolete inventory that need to be written down to their net realizable value, the net realizable value of inventory of raw materials and finished product require judgment. The cost of raw material and finished good is determined on the weighted average cost method. The differences are the cost of raw material need to include the purchase cost and cost of bringing the inventory to their present condition and location, while the cost of finished goods includes direct material, direct labor, and overhead costs. The third key audit method is impairment of property, plant, and equipment. If any indication that an asset may be impaired exists or an annual impairment assessment is required, the company would make an estimate of the asset recoverable amount. There are no any impairment of property, plant, and equipment that have been recorded in this year.
The key audit methods of Vortex Consolidated Berhad are the same for both year 2018 and 2019. The first key audit method of the company is impairment of goodwill. Vortex carries significant goodwill amount. The balance of goodwill account has no changes, which is Rm 5.8 million. The assessment of goodwill impairment is significant to the auditing procedures as it is highly subjective, requires significant judgments based on the management's assumption that potentially will be impacted by the future market and economic conditions. The second key audit method is recoverability of trade and other receivables. The trade and other receivables are one of the major components in the company's financial statements. The allowance of impairment losses on trade and other receivables are recognized on the basis of particular known facts or customers' capability to pay. Thus, it requires significant judgment in the assessment of recoverability of the trade and other receivables.
The key audit matters for Wangzheng Berhad in 2018 is the valuation of inventory on 31 December 2020. The carrying amount of inventories is stated at 50,881,729, which is in accordance to the policy of Wangzheng. Inventories are valued at lower of cost and net realizable value. The company applied judgment to determine the appropriate provision for obsolete inventory that will be written down to their net realizable value. The inventory's net realizable value is estimated by the group based on the expected sale price assessment. Next, for both years, the key audit matters is the same, which is the assessment on carrying value of trade receivables. At financial year end, Wangzheng reported the carrying amount of trade receivable as 55,605,891 ringgit Malaysia in 2018 and 55,303,312 ringgit Malaysia in 2019. The group applied impairment in assessing the carrying value of trade receivables. The timing to recognize impairment and the estimation of impairment loss was made based on the subjective assumptions and judgments. To determine the provision on impairment of receivable, the group used the possibility of default and estimated losing rates of company.
So now I'm going to present about the key audit matters about Wegmans Holding Berhad for both the financial years 2018 and 2019. Both years is about the carrying amount of inventories. According to the company policy, the carrying amount of inventories need to stated at the lower of cost and realizable value. So for write-down of inventory, reviews only make on damaged, obsolete, and slow-moving inventory. But the reviews require judgment and estimate, and possible changes in this estimate result in revaluation of inventories. So the audit procedure on this key audit method is to compare the net realizable value to the cost of inventories at the end of the reporting period to assess the reasonableness of inventories write-down, and also need to perform aging tests on the inventory and review the impairment for slow-moving inventory where applicable.
In 2018, the group's applied accounting policy includes MFRS 141 agricultures and amendments to MFRS 116 and MFRS 141 burial plans. After the adoption of the MFRS, the groups apply retrospectively and depreciates the various plans on a straight line basis. Additionally, an annual impairment test is performed to both new and existing burial plans. Second, in 2018, the group has realized a gains of consolidations of AMV amounting 170,085,000. Additionally, the earned amount has been written off, then resulting in a gain of approximately 81,812,000 and reporting in the current financial year. In 2019, impairment assessments of goodwill which involve significant management judgments and estimations. The carrying amount of goodwill to the group's timbers divisions and trading divisions was 22,900,000 and 1,300,000. Impairment shows that the recovered amounts was lower than the carrying amount. Thus, a one-shot impairments of goodwills are recognized in the profit or loss during the current financial year end.
Now I'm going to present the ratio analysis of quick ratio. Here is the graph show that the quick ratio among 5 companies, and the quick ratio is to calculate the potential of a company to settle off its current liability with its most liquid asset, and also can give information to the investor that how a firm can maximize the liquid assets on the balance sheet to settle off their current liability. So from the graph, we can see that the Waters Consolidated Berhad dropped from 1.58 to 1.26 from 2018 to 2019. This is because the amount decreases in other receivable, deposit, and repayments. And also the Wangzheng Berhad increased 0.45 compared with Kelly Holding Berhad. The increase is due to the settlement of current liability, include trade payables and bank borrowings. And next, Kelly Holding Berhad have the lowest quick ratio, which is 0.99 in year 2018. And during the year of 2019, Wegmans Holding Berhad is the lowest quick ratio with 1.12. So, during the financial year of 2018 and 2019, Wangzhen Berhad owned the highest quick ratio in both years. So Wangzhen Berhad can transfer out big amount of cash in limited time to settle off all the current liability.
For the inventory efficiency, it is a ratio representing how many times over a given time frame a company has sold and replaced inventory. Inventory efficiency measurement will help the company make smarter choices. Calculating inventory turnover can help business make better decisions on pricing, manufacturing, marketing, and purchasing new inventory. The inventory efficiency ratio for Kali Holding Berhad in both the year 2018 and 2019 are the lowest. The ratio is 1.2 and 1.11 for the year 2018 and the year 2019, respectively. The low inventory efficiency ratio implies that the sales of the company might be weak because the turnover is very slow. The stock of the company might be excess and the stock is overloaded. The highest inventory efficiency ratio is achieved by Vortex Consolidated Berhad. The ratio for the year 2018 is 7.81, while in the year 2019 is 7.6. The high inventory efficiency ratio might imply two information. One is that the sales of the company are very high. Another one is that the the inventory is not enough for sale. Both of the effects are that the company need to always restock.
Trade receivable days is the number of days which a company takes to collect its trade receivables. Kelly has the highest trade receivable days in both year 2018 and 2019. It shows that it is having a poor receivable collection management since the credit terms of the company is within 75 days, while its trade receivable days is more than 140 days. In contrast, the rest of the companies are performing well in managing its trade receivables collection, which is able to collect their trade receivables within 90 days. Among these four companies, Vortex has the best performance in collecting its trade receivables. It is notable that the trade receivable days of Wangzhen has decreased from 81 days in 2018 to 74 days in 2019, while the trade receivable days of other companies has increased. It indicates that the ability of Wangzhen in collecting trade receivables has improved. Increases in trade receivable days shows Kelly, Vortex, Wegmans, and WTK become less efficient in collecting their trade receivables. Trade payable days is the average days which a company takes to pay to its trade payables. Normally, the credit term given by the trade payables is within 90 days. Kelly is having a relatively long period for paying back its trade payables, which are more than 100 days. If the company takes too long to pay to its trade payables, it might become a signal of the company is having cash shortage. The rest of the companies are able to pay to its trade payables within 90 days. It is notable that Wangzhen taking the shortest time to pay back to its trade payables, which are less than 15 days. Wangzhen can consider to delay its payment period so it can hold onto its cash longer for short-term investments. The trade payable days of WTK and Wangzhen has decreased, while the trade payable days of Kelly, Rolex, and Redmond has increased. Decrease in trade payable days show the company are paying their trade payables more quickly compared to the previous year. Increase in trade payable days indicates that the companies are paying their trade payables more slowly.
Sales to working capital ratios measure the efficiency of company in using its working capitals. It refers to short-term resources used to fund the activities of a company and the revenue that the company receives as a result. Higher sales to working capital ratios means that the company is very efficient in generating the sales from its working capitals. From all these five companies, Wegmans Holdings Berhad had the highest sales to working capital ratios. For every 1 ringgit of working capital used by the company, they are able to generate 6 ringgit and 39 cents of sales. Although the ratios of Wegmans dropped during 2019, but the sales generated from the use of its short-term resources is relatively high compared to other companies, which is 4 ringgit and 33 cents. Meanwhile, KD Holding Berhad had the lowest sales to working capital ratios for both years. The company only used 1 ringgit of its working capital to generate RM1.46 of sales in 2018 and RM1.24 of sales in 2019. This means that Kelly is weak in management of working capitals and Wegmans is the most efficient in managing its working capital.
Working capitals indicates the balance of short-term resources that can be used to continue the business operating if the company has to resolve all its existing current liability. Generally, higher working capital is good because companies can use more short-term resources to help in the company growth. According to the graph, the working capitals of Rotox, Women's, Wangzhen's in 2019 is lower than the working capitals in 2018. It indicates that the short-term resources that can be used in this company operations become less compared to the previous year. Meanwhile, Scott's and WTK's working capitals has increased in 2019. Rotox has the lowest working capitals for 2018 and 19. Overall, all the companies have enough current assets to meet its current liability during 2019 and 18, as well as all the working capital is positive. As a conclusion, our groups have studied and analyzed the annual reports from the chosen company. We have a brief understanding on the backgrounds and business activity carried out by this company. Besides, we also determine the significance era after the reporting periods and discuss about key audit matter. Then we examine the company working capital ratios for 2 years and makes the comparisons analysis among the study companies. In the nutshell, we have further understandings on the applications and disclosures of MFRS 110 and learns how to analyze the related disclosures on key audit matter for the financial year. That's all from iGroups. Thank you for watching.